Secret they took to their graves. More than 60 years ago, a young couple from Minnesota gave birth to a baby girl in Portland, then gave her up for adoption.
Now, all these years later, that little girl, now a mother and grandmother, gets the surprise of her life as she unravels the mystery of her family history. Our Amy Frazier has her story of finding family.
My birth mother was 18 at the time.
It was 1952.
My birth father was in the Marines, going to be serving in Korea. They had nothing. They had met at a dairy where they'd both been working. And her parents didn't want her to get married. They did not know she was pregnant.
Alice Beth Odden, who went by Beth, from Madison, Minnesota, and Dennis Odden traveled to Portland, where Beth's older brother and his wife helped them out. Beth hiding her baby bump in pictures.
In one picture, she has a newspaper across her tummy. In another one, there's a kitchen towel. And in another one, she has a coat on and she's peeking kind of backwards. I don't think they ever told anybody else. I think that my birth parents and this aunt and uncle took it to their graves.
Born in February of 1953, Gretchen Lewis was adopted by a Portland attorney and his wife. Gretchen grew up happy and loved.
I always knew that I was adopted.
But it would be 63 years before she would learn who her birth parents are, or that she's the oldest of 5 siblings.
I am overwhelmingly grateful for this journey. I'm not alone.
About 2 years ago, Gretchen contacted her adoption agency hoping for medical information, but she found much more.
I found out that my birth parents were engaged to be married.
She also learned her birth mother, listed on her pre-adoption birth certificate as Alice Johnson, wanted the adoption to be confidential.
So at that point, that was the end of that.
Until last March, when Gretchen decided to do an Ancestry.com DNA test to confirm she's Norwegian.
What I didn't know is that they send you usernames of people whose profile you match to some degree. I had 129 pages.
A pastor in California named Ron Hovick contacted Gretchen.
And he says, do you know the Hovick name or the Undland name? And I said, I'm adopted, I'm sorry, I don't know anything. But he got a bee under his bonnet. He just had a calling, something. And he wanted to figure it out, how I was related to him.
The pastor and his sister Barb started researching and eventually found an obituary for an Alice Beth Odden of Madison, Minnesota. Gretchen's birth mother had died just 6 weeks earlier at 82.
And here's this picture of somebody that looks like me.
From the obituary, she learned her birth father, Dennis Odden, died about 10 years ago, and that she has a brother and 3 sisters, including Kathy Odden.
There's that big, beautiful smile.
Who, along with her siblings, would soon learn about her oldest sister, Gretchen.
I said, I realize we don't know each other at all, but I love you. I'm going to cry. Sorry, I love you. And my sister Kathy told me that the first time she talked to me.
I loved her from the second I talked to her. It's hard to describe that when you don't know this person at all, but you love them because you can feel it in your heart. And you can look at her and go, holy smokes, she's my sister.
Last September, Gretchen and her husband went to Madison, Minnesota to meet her siblings for the first time.
And the thing is, we just lost our mom, and she walks into the picture, and there's our mom walking in the door. It's crazy. She looks so much like her.
I finally have a favorite sister.
The family greeted Gretchen with open arms and a balloon, saying it's a girl. They've kept in touch ever since.
Who gets this? You know, people don't get this.
No one knows why Beth and Dennis forever kept their secret.
But I also feel very strongly that things happen the way they're supposed to.
A life which was full before, blessed by this new beginning. In Columbia City, Amy Frazier, KOIN 6 News.
Every life is a journey, and that's a great one. Gretchen has learned her mother hung on for weeks in hospice before passing away last March.
And Gretchen's own grandchild was born just the day before her mother died.